7:48, and now on loan from the Gee and Ursula Show, here is G. Scott. So you got real estate on your mind today?
I do. I know you guys just had the expert on. I didn't get a chance to hear what she had to say, but the real estate world is, first of all, is a world that I've always wanted to get into.
Yeah,
but
really?
I didn't have the opportunities to because, life hits you fast. There's just some things that you want to do. I just thought that I could do some real estate because sales was my thing. But this new thing right now with the changes that's going on potentially in the real estate world. And did you guys talk about that recently?
Yeah, I can play a little clip on what Jill Schlesinger sort of summarized this.
I do think that longer term, this is an industry that has not yet been disrupted. If I think about the selling of mutual funds, 30, 40 years ago, when someone bought a mutual fund, they would pay an 8.25% commission on that mutual fund. Mm-hmm. Now you can go direct and pay zero.
Yeah.
So that's never happened in the real estate industry. And so I think this is a consumer-friendly development.
So now you can negotiate commissions, and the buyer doesn't always have to. The buyer can pay their own agent instead of the seller having to pay both. No
doubt. So let's talk about. I'll give you guys the good and a little bit of the concern that I have with all of this. But like anything, first, anytime there's change, this is why a lot of people don't like change, right? There's going to be some uncomfortable process. There's going to be some that don't like it. First, I'll start off with, I think any type of more transparency, especially in the real estate game, it's very important. But this change could potentially create barriers for those that are first-time home buyers, right? And the reason why I bring that up is this. The seller has home equity, and a lot of these first-time home buyers, they don't really have the money for those paying those commissions right off front. So that is a little bit of a concern. How about VA home buyers? You guys know VA home buyers legally can't pay their agents' commissions. So how's that going to work? So there's questions when it comes to that. Hey, on one hand, I do think that they should decouple commissions when it comes to this, splitting them up, no doubt about that. But I do know, like she said just there, this industry, the real estate industry, has kind of been interesting. It's kind of been the same for years. Yeah. And it's been decades and decades of those who weren't allowed to participate in the real estate market, right? Or it was harder for them. And because I'm talking about black and brown home buyers, okay? Mm-hmm. And because of those things, we have some people in this country that don't have access to the capital that others do. So I wonder how this is going to look 20 years down the road. I do believe ultimately this is going to be better. I think it's going to be a little uncomfortable at first.
Well, the internet's changed it a lot. I mean, I remember back when I was buying a home, the only way you knew it was for sale was through the agent. Now you just go online, you can shop for yourself.
The internet has changed everything. Speaking of that, and for all the old school folks out here, I'm old school, that with the regular mainstream banks, how come they were only giving us a 1% on our savings? And then all of a sudden the new banks come out, the internet banking, and they're like, yo, G, come on over here, player. We got 4% on your savings. Yeah. What? 5% on your savings. What? Right? So that's happening. And so then all the big banks are like, well, I guess, we were bailed out, in the recession, so we'll give you maybe 2%, right? All of this internet stuff, all of these changes that are happening are forcing people who have had a monopoly on things to start doing things the right way. So that's all I got.
Well, it sounds like you're cool with it then.
I mean, what I'm really cool with, and I think that I'm really cool with people being more transparent about these topics. And I think when everyone is forced to be really transparent about all of these things, I think that's when good discussions happen. And then you're like, well, wait a minute, I don't know if I should pay that, and I don't know if I agree with that, because sometimes it just happen. Like cable. How many times you looked at your cable bill and be like, Larry, I thought it was supposed to be $150. Why is it $225 every month? Oh, Bill, just because of those charges. This the difference. What's this charge mean? How many times have you looked at your cable bill and not known what the charge meant?
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Why was
cable
cable
doing airplane tickets, or your hotel bill, or your rental car? Yeah.
And why was cable doing that? Because they could.
Because they could. That's right.
All right, I'm out.
G. Scott with Ursula Royteen starting at 9 o'clock on KIRO Newsradio.